Hiya! Welcome! It's time for another Minidisc Monday, and in this edition, number 9, I'm going to show you the debut studio album by a band I've got the first 6 albums of on Minidisc, so I want to get them all covered in this series eventually, and I'm going to get started with their first, and in my opinion, arguably their best. I'm talking about the Manic Street Preachers' Generation Terrorists. So this album was released in 1992. The Minidisc presumably would have come out that same year. 92 was the first year pre-recorded Minidiscs went on sale. And it's on the Columbia label, which was and is, I think, still a subsidiary of Sony, who were the driving force behind Minidisc, of course. And Manic Street Preachers need little to no introduction, really, to the vinyl community. At the time, a 4-piece band from Wales. I listened to this earlier on in preparation for this video, as it had been some years since I last heard this album. I'd forgotten just what an exhilarating record, what an exhilarating album this is. Of course, we'll talk about it and go through the tracks in a moment, but just to give you the obligatory look at the case and the disc and everything. So there's the disc with the track listing on the back, and I'm glad the track listing's on the back of that, because the one thing I don't like about this album is how difficult the text is to read. Even with my glasses on, just some of that pink writing over this stars design here is difficult to read. Of course, it's got the information in the booklet as well, and I will show you the booklet. So this album is the Manic's debut, and it's their best album as far as I'm concerned. I'll be listening to the 5 other Manic studio albums that I've got on MD. I don't own anything else from them after their final Minidisc release, but from my memories of listening to all those previously, I think Generation Terrorists is the best thing they've done, to be honest. So a quick look at the book there, a few quotes from various people underneath the track listing, and then we've got lyrics. It's a relatively decent booklet, this, if you like lyrics without being overly exciting, and a bit of production notes and stuff like that at the back. I will get the actual disc itself out again just so I can read through the tracks. It's a long album, this. It's about 73 minutes in length, and I think its chart position in 1992 was 13 on the UK album chart. Going through the tracks, a real barn burner of an opener, Slash and Burn. Then track 2 is NatWest Barclays Midlands Lloyds, which kind of sounds a little bit sort of stuffy, but it's not. It's just a real good glam metal track. That's the thing about this album, Generation Terrorists. It came out at a time where I don't think anyone else in the UK certainly was doing what the Manics were doing. They had this sort of punk sensibility, but then they looked kind of glam with the eyeshadow and mascara and all that. And then they had that sort of almost like a hair metal sound, you know, like cock rock, I think is the derivative term, even more so than hair metal. They just combined all these elements to be something really fresh and new and exciting in a music scene that, bear in mind, 1992 Britpop, it was kind of beginning, but it hadn't really established itself as a thing. And America, they were still into grunge, you know, Nirvana had broken through the previous year. Track 3 is Born to End, brilliant song that, love that. Track 4 is the Manic's greatest single of all time and one of my favourite singles ever, Motorcycle Emptiness. Followed up with another single, I think there was 6 singles released off this altogether. The excellent You Love Us. Then number 6, Love Sweet Exile. Number 7, another single, Little Baby Nothing, which I believe that's the one that featured on guest vocals former pornographic actress Tracy Lords. Number 8 is a bit of an unusual thing, really. It's Repeat bracket Stars and Stripes, which was kind of like almost like a hip-hop type thing. It does work in the context of the album. I believe Chuck D had something to do with the production of that. He didn't produce anything else on the album, but he had something to do with that track. Tennessee is number 9. Track 10, Another Invented Disease. Track 11, Stay Beautiful. Track 12, So Dead. Track 13, Repeat, brackets UK, so kind of like a follow-up to the Stars and Stripes Repeat of earlier. That wasn't like a hip-hop thing, that was more sort of standard Manics of the time, this sort of glam metal / punk. Number 14, Spectators of Suicide. 15, Damn Dog Plus. 16, Crucifix Kiss. And then a real strong couple of tracks to end this album. 17, Methadone Pretty. And 18, which is quite an epic track, it goes on for nearly 7 minutes, but it's just a really sort of exciting end to the album, really, is Condemned to Rock and Roll. So there's a lot of great stuff on here. I've forgotten what a good album it was, to be fair. If there's any criticism, it's perhaps a little bit long, and some of the stuff in the middle is a little bit kind of above average rather than being very good to excellent, but for the most part it is an excellent album, and it's a massive recommendation from me. I'll be covering more Manic's albums in due course, as there's certain artists, Manic Street Preachers being one of them, who'll have multiple albums on Minidisc, so look out for my thoughts on their subsequent 5 albums in this series. But that's it for this one in Minidisc Monday today. I want to say a big thank you to everyone for watching. Special thanks goes, as always, to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, and please will you join me again in 2 weeks' time for the next Minidisc Monday. Cheers everyone. See ya!